another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by GrokTALK.com, New Hampshire's conservative website. We are your feared extremist opinionated, outspoken rabble, letter writing, radio microphone stopping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for 2 hours of news and opinion you could only get at GrokTALK.com.
Skip just fixed the live stream, so if you're watching online, welcome to GrokTALK.
Dum da da dum.
Dum da da dum.
Dum da da dum.
I had that off because you didn't have it on your head. The lots of news as always. We'd like to welcome you to the program. Try to come to you every week with news and opinion you can only get from us. And this week, some of that news and opinion will include our guests, Kimberly Morin, who is a policy research conservative commentator, political activist, and she has a number of other credits that we'll announce later on. She'll be joining us at 9:30. Senator Bob Smith will be coming onto the program via telephony to talk to us about the campaign to win the primary to challenge Jeanne Shaheen, and we'll be talking about her. And then Jerry DeLemus will be talking to us live from the Bundy Ranch in Bunkerville, Nevada, to give us an update on the ground of what's actually happening there.
Correct. It's going to be a full-packed agenda here, and even though we seem to be just the two of us right now, Grokster Mike is on the way. We also expect Grokster Rick to be here, as well as somebody you haven't seen before, Grokster Scott Morales, who occasionally opines for us, depending on his workload and stuff. And this will be his first time on GrokTALK, so I will be giving up my headset, but still watching the regular system here to make sure that the audio and video is being pumped out through Ustream.
That's why we have these extra chairs. So it'll be embarrassing if nobody shows up. But anyway, that's okay. We'll have plenty to talk about besides that.
Well, we do already.
We do. Lots of interesting things.
Because you liked my post.
I did. And a real quick rundown of some things we're going to hit. SB 120, which is the Republican-sponsored Senate bill to create a speech cartel for the ruling class. And then we have J.P. Marzullo announced that he was going to challenge Bob Odell for his state Senate seat, and then Bob Odell decided he would retire, which is beautiful news. Republican Frank Saporetto has announced that he is going to challenge Jim Roush for his state Senate seat. Both of them are supposedly Republicans. Roush is not acting like one at all. Frank is acting more like one than ever. And of course, the thing that really caught my attention this morning, I got up and I was reading Granite Croc to see what got posted over the night, and Skip had this fabulous post about some news that was reported in the Union Leader. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were talking about business owners, and we're talking about the winter tourism industry, which is, of course, of extreme concern to Democrats, and Senator Shaheen in particular, who has pontificated with her vast knowledge of climate science on the doom and gloom to our tourism industry in the winter months because of global warming. Now, last winter, global warming was responsible for probably one of the best ski seasons we've ever had. We had so much damn snow that there was just plenty of skiing and lots of tourism, and they made buckets of money, and the state, of course, got some revenue from that. But there is a new doom and gloom on the horizon that is going to impair and limit and shorten our ski season, and that is Obamacare.
That's right. And the news is owners of some small New Hampshire businesses said at a forum Thursday that paperwork and expense are threatening the economic platforms on which their companies are built, to the point that the Affordable Care Act could trump nature. That's what first got my attention. Greg Goddard, the general manager of Gunstock Ski Area, said the requirements that health insurance to be offered to employees who are on the company payroll for 120 consecutive days or longer could mean opening the slopes later and shutting them down earlier. And he went on to discuss it has nothing to do with the snow, it has nothing to do with the equipment. In fact, it has nothing to do with other government regulations because it's actually owned by Belknap County. It's not a private concern. But Obamacare, the same Obamacare that Jeanne Shaheen was the 60th vote for to push this through. This U.S. federal government ambassador to New Hampshire has placed upon our heads and around our necks is now going to start squeezing small businesses, including the same industry, the ski industry, that she's been bemoaning about, as you said, for years now.
She has. And so we decided that we needed to figure out what to call this, because this Skip called it appropriately a woman-made disaster. And this is exactly what she was afraid was going to happen. Only she got it all wrong, as is natural for a Democrat.
Well, she actually got the end result right. She just got the reason for it absolutely wrong.
So we were thinking Shehenopogenic tourism destruction. Tourism climate change. That would work, right? These are the soon-to-be underemployed that Shaheen has been looking for. If you like your tourism industry, you can keep your tourism industry. Tourism we can't believe in. You shouldn't have built that, which references something that Mr. Goddard said. They created this summer tourism attraction.
Adventure camp,
And
yeah.
he actually said, if I had known 3 years ago that this is what was going to happen, we wouldn't have even built it. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Miguel, I can't see the top of his head because it's camouflaged.
Correct, in honor of the third guest this morning.
Yep, he basically said, Goddard said, some decisions the company has made in the recent years might have been quite different if the impact felt in the first months of Obamacare had been known. This is in reference to Nancy Pelosi's. We have to pass the bill to find out what's in it.
No, we found out what's in it.
Yep.
A shorter ski season.
Yeah, 3 years ago we added a summer adventure park. He said, finally, if I had known then what I know now, the Affordable Care Act was about, I may not have built it. Now I'm not sure. I take a little askance to his company because it is a completely owned entity of the Belknap County, as I said before. But still, he's making decisions as if he were basically the owner of the ski area.
Correct, and that's what his job is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should put the headphones on, and I won't turn you on before you start engaging in conversation, because we won't be able to hear all the wonderful things you have to say.
Didn't say anything wonderful yet. How are you?
Good.
Good morning, Mr.
I
Mike.
think you have that mic on. Try again.
Yep.
Yes, you have 4. All right.
Okay.
That's fine. As long as I know which headset you have.
We'll swap.
Four Eyes number 3 has mic number 4.
There we go. Excellent.
You know something? He's absolutely right. Glasses, glasses, and glasses.
Yeah.
We can call each other Four Eyes. I
Eyes.
haven't heard that in years.
That's 12 eyes.
The better to see you with, my dear.
All right, the eyes have it. Okay. So, yeah, that's just, when you get up in the morning and you get hot, steaming irony served to you on granite rock on a global warming platter, if you like.
Yes.
I'd much rather have hot steaming irony than the hot steaming stuff the administration stirs out.
Right, well, this whole Shaheen thing is fantastic. And yes, I am going to milk this cow all the way to November because this is just too damn funny. And like I said in my
Are you
post-
insulting our senior senator here?
I am. And I put up a follow-up post to Skip's because it was just too good not to. And I called it, so basically in the meantime, New Hampshire won't be the only sovereign state suffering under the yoke of central planners. The Democrat Senators for Tourism Destruction Caucus will have to take their concerns to the Lightbringer and beg an indulgence for their peasants, lest the weight of this latest irony cause the voters to rise and drown them in a political defeat. So I'm hoping for that anyway, because she's not the only senator in a state that's a Democrat that has winter tourism that will be affected by Obamacare. So this guy, Goddard, isn't the only one who's going to have an impact. And that you've got to admit that all these winter states, Democrat senators, of which there are many,
Oh, yeah.
will have to, get in their hopey-changey bus and go to the White House and go, please,
Well, not just us.
change
I
the
mean,
120-day restriction.
what about Udall in Colorado, for example?
Oh, yeah.
there's plenty of it.
That's a winter
It's
tourism.
a winter tourism state as well.
What about all the Democrats in California? With Tahoe.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. With so many, I mean, that is a completely Democrat state at this point. Almost every district there, except for a few around San Diego and a few up north, they're almost in a safe a district as what Barbara Boxer and Nancy Pelosi are in. But no,
Most of the state of California is a giant Democrat ghetto. You're not going to get them out. They can do whatever they want. Obviously, because the state wants to divide itself up into separate states, there are places where people don't agree, but they don't have the density that the cities have that they could possibly vote these losers out.
And that's why they want to divide into separate states, because they do not have a Republican form of government. If senators were allocated by area, and I presume they are in California, they ought to have some balance, but it doesn't seem to work.
Well, the state senator problem in California is horrible because they have the same problem as Massachusetts has with speakers of the House.
Yeah.
All Democrats, all going to jail. Chicago's governors, another example.
Yeah. By the way, I thought this was rather cute. Scott Morales put this up. I'm going to put it up on the live stream.
Is it the picture of the car?
The picture of the
yeah, I
car.
posted that on Facebook yesterday.
Now you realise, of course, that People's Cube is a satire site, so I'm thinking that's a Photoshop.
Could be.
It may not be, but it's too good to miss.
I tried to zoom in and look and see if I could figure it out. I'm like, I don't care. It's funny.
Yeah, and
it's hilariously funny.
if you can't read it, it does say Obama is my co-pilot, and the front end of this car is absolutely mangled. So, apropos. So good for Scott for picking it up and posting it on Granite Rock.
And for those who are not familiar with it, the anti-Soviet propaganda site peoplescube.com, run by Oleg Atbashian, an ex-Soviet himself, who really knows what it's like and has lots of good life lessons to teach us.
And that, I mean, we have a few folks that have lived under the Iron Curtain for a while, and here in New Hampshire, we've talked to them, they've been on the show and all of that stuff, and they're the ones that are bringing the harbingers of our future history to be if we keep going down this path, and it's not a great thing, and yet the socialists and the progressives here in New Hampshire just keep ignoring it. You know, it's like, I just don't understand, but that's why Granite Rock is here to fight for our liberty and our freedom the best we can.
I posted this picture on Facebook, and Scott Prevette, who's a local activist, wrote, he must have run over a dogma, and I wrote, I suspect they were swerving to avoid one. That would be the pragmatic thing to do. I wonder if this was a change they could believe in.
Yeah, so much for the change. It just kind of crackled up.
Okay, I gotta drop off of there. And Mr. Olsen has joined us. Welcome, Mr. Olsen. So anyway, the other great news was that J.P. Marzullo announced that he was going to join the cadre of decent Republicans helping us advance a more Republican Senate by challenging Bob Odell. Bob Odell took this news the proper way, which was to say, I retire.
Yes,
did, and he did very quickly.
It didn't take much of a push, did it?
No, it was like a day. Not even 48 hours later, Bob's like, I'm out.
And by the way, I understand that All About Me, the people down there at GOP headquarters, threw an absolute hissy fit over not being forewarned that JP was going to do it.
Well, gee, that's
Really?
just the vice
Oh
chair.
yes.
No, let me just interject. As the vice chair of the Republican Party, which JP is, or was, or whatever.
He is until at least the convention, and potentially until the primary. Since there's no primary now, he can effectively stay in office until he has to start running seriously for his
Put
seat.
that headset on your head.
Okay, well,
And
Rick Olsen has joined us by osmosis,
It's not-
and very shortly he'll be acoustically
it's
coupled
not
to the system.
it's not exactly news that, you know, Jennifer Horn is not the most sharing of chairmen with her vice chair, so I will save that for a couple weeks from now when we have JP on and he may feel more likely to share. I also want to segue into something that Rick did yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before?
it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it. This is fabulous. It has to do with Mr. Doomberg and his newest faux movement. And Rick took advantage of an opportunity, and he's going to tell you all about it.
Well, you know, as everybody knows, Mr. King Michael Bloomberg launched an effort where he culled the crying mommies all together about guns and you know, his mayors against illegal guns, and I guess
Moms demand action.
Moms demand inaction. Yeah. So he culled all these
One has
groups
to wonder
together.
what sort of action the moms are looking for. But
Hey, every mom's looking for a little action now, aren't they?
Mom's demand faction. Yeah. Well.
So, anyways, to make a long story short, Bloomberg called all these groups together and started this effort called Everytown USA for Gun Safety.
Actually, they could have milds. Moms I'd like to disarm.
Yes.
So,
Anyway, he launched this great big effort, but he left this huge hole in social media. No Twitter, no Facebook. And it actually started with a guy down in Texas, the founder of National Association for Gun Rights. Okay, and to make a long story short, one of the Million Moms Against, I can't remember the name of the group, but they're a pro-gun group, called him up and said, hey, there's this huge hole, and he said, go for it. So she snagged that Facebook page that probably should have belonged to Bloomberg, and then overnight, all of us started our own pages, Every Town USA for Gun Safety.
In the name of state. Right.
Right.
Yours is New Hampshire.
Ours
for
is
example,
New Hampshire.
But every state's trying to do that.
So since we made it go live yesterday at about 11:30, we now are up to over 400 likes.
And that's just New Hampshire. And of
Yeah.
course, the national page, you can go like that as well.
Yeah, it's up to I think 40,000 now.
Right. And that's going to keep happening. We're going to take 60 seconds. We'll be right back. We're going to talk some more about guns and good stuff.
Yeah. With Walter Havenstein.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
He didn't snag his own name domain, so somebody else did. Let me bring that, add that into the
Yeah, I want to grab a cup, an empty cup. I saw one over here.
Gotta be cup
Gotta
some
have
over
one.
there.
Yeah, I always have cups right here.
So I'll bring us back in.
Sure.
Okay. Tissues. Take that one.
There's also paper towels in the bathroom down the hall if you need them. There's a GrokTALK sting before you get to come in, so just hang on, you'll know.
I'll just watch you. You'll nod your head.
Cool.
And we are back. This is GrokTALK, a production of GrokTALK.com, New Hampshire's leading conservative libertarian blog site where we opine on just about anything that amuses us, bringing you news and sometimes amusing stuff as well. And of course, we have multiple opinions on every single topic under the sun, and we cover New Hampshire primarily. But we have lots of stuff to talk about today. We are in our opening segment where we talk about the news of the day, the week, and everything else. And Mike, you were talking about having absconded ex-mayor Bloomberg's Rick.
Rick did.
All
Rick
these
did.
guys with glasses on, you know?
That's right. Oh, wait, we got 4 more eyes.
16.
16
The eyes have it. Absconded social media. This is what happens when people aren't thinking in the new realms. And I was just going to add that Walter Havenstein, who is the newest candidate in the Republican primary
For governor.
That he had his opening announcement in the Legislative Office Building here in Concord, New Hampshire, and I was absolutely taken with WMUR's media blitz that showed almost every single past New Hampshire Republican luminary standing behind him. So we know where the establishment GOP stands as far as their government successor to
So we'll
Gene
have to
Keane.
give him the same treatment that we're giving Scott Brown.
Well, I was going to say he forgot to get his name domain captured, and somebody else took that and also did the same thing on Facebook. So there's 2 avenues already gone. So there's no protective fence around him. So we've got cords all over the
We
place.
had to move the table down a little bit to make room for additional bodies should they appear.
They will. Kimberly's sitting outside. She decided to come in at 9:30.
Oh, okay. Well, at least she's here.
She's sitting in her car in the sunshine down the side street.
Look at she's got parking.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
that's a big
As
help.
the weather gets nicer, the parking gets harder to get because people come out earlier, and I've noticed that even when I show up, the difference between showing up at 8:05 and 8:15, there's like nobody here at 8. But if I come later, all the spaces are starting to fill up, and it's like I don't want to walk all the way up here with all that stuff, and you certainly don't. You have more stuff, so
True.
at least she's here. We'll be talking to her in a few minutes. But anyway, back to the business at hand.
Yeah, so politics is starting to heat up, at least for those of us who follow it intently, and we opine upon it on a regular basis. I think that the regular folks certainly aren't going to pay much attention until Labor Day anyway, so we've got all summer for ourselves.
That's true.
And we've got to up the promotion on Andrew a little bit and keep looking for real facts on
Actually,
Mr.
speaking of
Havenstein.
that, if you go to the RLCNH Facebook page, you will see a picture of Andrew Hemingway. And what you are being asked to do is that a gentleman has said that for every person who changes their profile thumbnail picture to that picture of Andrew and tags this guy's name in the picture, he will donate $5 to Andrew's campaign. So if you go to RLCNH page, or if you go to the NHLA page, which I think is where it actually started, you will see everybody has Andrew Hemingway's picture as their profile picture in Facebook. So you'll go to see, a stream of comments and updates, and they all have Andrew's face. So you can do that. You can go to Facebook, go to the NHLA page first if you can get on there, if you're a member. Or if you're not, you can ask. But poke around Facebook in the conservative and libertarian community, and you will find references to it, and you are invited to participate. And you have to do it before midnight tonight for that $5 to go to the campaign. This guy has said that he will make that donation if you follow those simple instructions.
Another use of the social media.
Correct.
Sure, that's absolutely great.
Nobody's asked me why I changed my picture yet, but well,
will happen.
Nobody that's not politically motivated.
Oh, they'll figure it out.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So, other news of the day. Once again, Obama has decided to be of the mind frame that you're not the boss of me. We've got this Iranian ambassador that was supposed to come to the UN that was fingered out to be one of the folks during the Jimmy Carter administration in taking the embassy our embassy folks hostage, and now the Iranian mullahs are trying to send him here to be the UN ambassador. So what happened in the House is that they passed a bill that said we are not going to allow him entry. We're not going to give him a visa. It started actually in the Senate with Ted Cruz. It passed in the Senate. It got to Obama's desk.
Caps.
And this is what drives most of us crazy, because the Constitution says will faithfully execute. Upon signing the bill into law, he immediately says
he's not bound by it.
He is not bound by the law. It's merely advice. You know something?
Well, here's a piece of free advice. Faithfully execute is what we do to traitors.
No, we don't seem to do that anymore either, and that's part of the problem. But I think that's the summary of Obama's presidency. He does believe that he's a king, that he is not bound by the Constitution. Actually, he talks about the Constitution, but in his mind, he can read the same words as you and I, but it all comes out differently. It reads a completely different mantra into the Constitution and the Declaration and everything there. But to actually come out and say it, it's one thing if you've got this huge bill, and I blame George Bush for really putting these signing statements on steroid, into the public eye, but Obama's taken it to just a couple order of magnitudes higher level.
It's not just that.
And it's usually, well, hold on, it's usually on the big bills, and you're just taking little sections of it. This is a simple little bill.
The signing statements and the executive orders have all gone. It's what they're doing with them.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, okay, George Bush had signing statements and executive orders, but Obama is changing law wholesale, whole cloth, just cutting it out. She can sit over between you, actually, probably better. And that's just wrong. And it's just, I was going to say I'm working on a post that has something to do with this whole psychology, and it's really, it's about progressive mythology, and I won't go into the detail because we don't have time. But the way they perceive the world, facts, reality, the truth, have no bearing whatsoever. The whole point is the idea. It's what I think it was Sorrell said. It's not, everybody knows Marxism doesn't work. It's the mythology of Marxism that they use to create the movement necessary to get people to act the way they want. So, everything the Democrats do, Obamacare, is a mythology. It's a complete train wreck, but the mythology of Obamacare is like, the whole, and everything's like that. So, they're crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, and for the first time ever, a Democrat representative to the U.S. House finally said, we took over 1/6 of the economy. First time anybody said it. We on the right have been saying that for years and years and years, but it finally happened. And he said it in such a way that's like, yeah, that's what we do in government all the time. We just take stuff over. And just such deadpan words. I just sat there and go, yeah, right, this is just what government ordinarily does. And he just so blithely said, yeah, we're going to have bumps in the road as we take over 1/6 of an entire economy.
Couple bumps.
Couple bumps.
Yeah, can we call them moguls?
Moguls, yeah. And I got news for you. They ain't Olympics level skiers either.
No, they're not. They're not. What was that thing that was it Mike that put up? Created by geniuses, run by idiots.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't that fabulous. Biden gets himself an Instagram account, sends selfie from inside the presidential limousine of himself and Obama looking dumb. In fact, one commenter over on, I think it was Twitchy, said that the fisheye effect made Obama look like the donkey from Shrek.
Oh, wonderful. But
Another asinine picture.
yes, I guess Biden must have had a little bit more power to do that ever since the Red Sox were there. No more selfies with Obama. So, but then again, Biden got the slap down anyways because Obama refused to say whether or not he'd support him in his presidential candidacy. It's like, good, put him on point, put him on that tightrope. Who you gonna go with there, Obama? Biden or Hillary?
Biden never got more than 4% of Democrats to back him in any primary when he ran. So the odds are pretty good that Obama's not going to back Biden.
Well, a couple of cycles ago, we did interview Biden when he was just a senator. And he did say, you guys are doing good work because you're going to help elect the next president. And we did because it was Bush, not him.
Well, I think you guys.
But again, I look back at that and go, yeah.
Hey, I think you guys are being a little tough on Biden. Now, we haven't had comedy in the White House since never. Like what we're having now.
That's true. He is like
The Boston Marathon, bombing.
Oh, yes.
Worth it,
He should have a laugh track behind him.
He should. Yeah.
I thought he did.
I mean, really, literally, instead of a teleprompter, since he just talks and talks and talks, he should have a laugh track. That would be funny. We can just add one, and we should just add one. We should take his speeches and just add a laugh track behind him. That would be the best way to go.
Well, you've got the soundboard. You've got the new jingle box.
I do, which I'm using right now.
Make one.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
we are.
Well, I got all this free time now that the ski season is going to be shortened. You
Thank
ever
you,
see
Gene.
me ski? I haven't skied in 20 years. If I skied, I'd probably break something. All right, this is GrokTALK. I'm Steve McDonald here with everybody. And we'll be right back with Kimberly Morin from Examiner.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, you get the headset.
Well, she can have mine. I mean, you guys are on a roll.
musical
here.
headsets.
Red is right.
No, red is mine.
Oh,
Yes, you can put it on either side. Doesn't
I'm
make
going
any
to flip that
difference.
other one over, though. So you can, yeah.
Actually, this one's got red on it too, Skip, so...
Well, no, this is a specific red dot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can wear it either way.
Wow, that's a long exit music. Still going.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll take me a little while. Especially if Scott comes in, I'll move next door.
Is that loud?
I got the Kelly file
it's
off the
okay,
TiVo
it's just-
from last night. I
Oh,
was going to
commercial.
edit
I
the
know.
crap out
Yeah.
and put the Bundy piece in.
Minute and a half of commercials.
Kelly file.
2
Yeah.
minutes.
but you gotta have them,
I do.
Thanks to the wonders of TiVo,
We
I
should
have the
Right.
entire Kelly file on my PC from last night.
We do have to.
I did that. Every Town Loves Girls with Guns yesterday too.
Oh, did you? Well, we'll have to like that one too. We just hit 422 likes on our page. I'm
Yes.
pretty happy about that.
Well, welcome to the ADD bunch of bloggers, by the way.
I'm ADD as well. Self-induced.
This is our ADD symbol here.
Yep.
Squirrel.
Squirrels.
Squirrel.
More than one.
Yeah, goes like that.
Oh my god.
Like I said, and whatever else amuses us.
That's right.
Now, if you hear long pauses on the show, we're usually watching this thing go on.
Those are awesome.
There we are. Hear that gap, folks? Squirrels.
Oh my god.
You wound him up good, didn't you?
I did. Nice and tight. Giving him lots
25
of...
seconds. Well, 25 seconds till we come into the segment. Anyway.
Skip, you want to grab the microphone? I'm okay.
Nope. Go ahead.
All right.
Cheat. Reg.
His was loud.
His what? Yeah.
This was really loud.
GrokTALK.